What up, YouTube? Team Movies here. Here is my sixth half of my top 100 anticipated movies of 2020. Now, today I'm going to go from 50 to 41. So, with that being said, here it is. Alright, coming in at number 50, it is a new film called Deep Water, which is about a well-to-do husband who allows his wife to have affairs in order to avoid a divorce, but becomes a prime suspect in the disappearance of her lovers. And it stars Ben Affleck and Ana de Armas. And boy, what is it with Ben Affleck? What is it with his characters being accused of like something? Like in the movie Gone Girl, he ended up being accused of his wife's of his wife's murder. Now this boy, they just love accusing Ben Affleck for anything, right? But anyway, yeah. Now this is one reason why I'm really interested in this is that it's directed by Adrian Lyne, who also gave us Fair Attraction. He has not directed a movie since that Unforgiven film with Unforgiven. That movie with Richard Gere and Diane Lane. He has not really done a film since like 2002. But this kind of sounds intriguing. I mean, next year is an interesting year for Ben Affleck, by the way. He has this, The Way Back, and The Duel. What a cool year for Affleck. I mean, it's nice to see Affleck really branching out, especially after the whole Batman drama, but we'll see if this will be decent. Anyway. Alright, coming in at number 49 it's a Netflix film, and that is All the Right Places. Now, the film tells the story of Violet Markey and Theodore Finch, who meet and change each other's lives forever as they struggle with the emotional and physical scars of their past. They come together, discovering that even the smallest places and moments can mean like something. And it has a really cool cast. Like you got Elle Fanning, Justice Smith coming off with Detective Pikachu, Luke Wilson, Keegan-Michael Key, Virginia Garner, Kelly O'Hara, Alexandra Shipp. It's directed by Brad Helly, who also gave us stuff like Hearts Beat Loud, The Hero, and I'll See You in My Dreams. And he also has another Netflix movie coming out next year too, called Sort of Like a Rockstar with that girl from Moana, Aaliyah Cavallo. So he has like two movies coming to Netflix that could be interesting. But All the Right Places kind of sounds pretty intriguing. I mean, Netflix is pretty great with their like coming of age contents, and All the Right Places seems no different. So I'm kind of interested in this. Alright, coming in at number 48 is The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It. Now, this, of course, is the third installment of the Conjuring franchise, where paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren try to uncover the truth behind a murderer's claim of possession. Now, this is supposed to have, like, werewolves in it, too. There's that. Now, it's actually going to be the first actual Conjuring movie not to be directed by James Wan. But he's a producer on it. But I'll tell you why I'm looking forward for it, but I'm also skeptical about it too because it's being directed by Michael Chavez, and he just put out he recently just directed The Curse of La Llorona, and that movie stunk so badly. So I'm a little cautious with this, but who knows? Maybe it'll be something. Maybe it'll be better than the first two. That's always a possibility. But we'll have to wait and see. And of course, you got Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga coming back as Ed and Lorraine Warren. So there's that. Fingers crossed it'll be good. Alright, coming in at number 47. Now, I'm not 100% sure if this is really going to come out in 2020, but they said it's supposed to be shooting like in early 2020, and it might actually have. It's not a special effect movie, so I don't really see them waiting for 2 years to release this film. And anyway, coming in at number 47, it is a film called Newsflash. Now, this is about now it's supposed to star Chris Pine as CBS newsman Walter Cronkite, who gives like the task of reporting on live television about President John F. Kennedy's assassination. And you also got Mark Ruffalo playing 60 Minutes producer Don Hewitt. And this movie has been going around for a while. Like, at first it was supposed to be directed by David Gordon Green, but he's also attached to, he's directed the next two Halloween films. I mean, Seth Rogen was actually once supposed to play Walter Cronkite. I think it was Logan Lerman who was supposed to play Dan Rather, I think it was. Anyway, I've learned a bit about the whole about what happened to JFK and all, and I think I do love me a good true story film. And Newsroom is also being directed by Alfonso Gomez Rajon, who just put out The Current War. He also did Me on the Dying Girl, so he's a really talented filmmaker. And now I'm pretty sure if this movie gets shot like early 2020, I could see this movie getting released around maybe around November, on November 22nd, since that it was the day that JFK ended up getting assassinated. So I could see this movie getting released in November, because that would be like the anniversary of JFK's assassination. So fingers crossed, it's good, and maybe it could be an Oscar contender. Who knows? All right, coming in at number 46, it is an A24 film called Zola. Now, Zola partakes in a wild 2-day Florida trip with this sex worker named Stefani and her boyfriend Derek, and Stefani's violent pimp who went by X. It's directed by Lemon director Janice Bravo. It also stars the likes of Riley Keough, Taylor Page, Nicholas Bryan, Coleman Domino, and even Jason Mitchell, which I'm still not. I'm still wondering if Jason Mitchell's still in this movie, because I'm not. I try not to talk about celebrities' personal life, but Jason Mitchell ended up getting fired off the Chai because some he ended up getting fired off the Chai because he was trying to say this slightly, but he ended up sexually harassing one of his co-stars, and he ended up getting fired off the Chai. So I'm still wondering if Jason Mitchell is still in this or not. But Zola sounds interesting. I actually really adore Riley Keough, who, by the way, is the granddaughter of Elvis. There's a fun fact for you there. This movie's premiering at Sundance, and I saw a couple of the photos of this. This looks like it could be really interesting. And it's being released by A24, so that has that going for it. So sign me up. I mean, I'm intrigued by it. Alright, coming in at number 45, it's another film with Riley Keough in it, by the way. And that's a Netflix film called The Devil All the Time. Now, it takes place in a rural southern Ohio and West Virginia, and it follows a cast of compelling and bizarre characters from the end of World War II to the 1960s. And a couple of the people here, you got Willard Russell, who's this tormented veteran of the carnage of the South Pacific, who can't take his beautiful wife Charlotte from a organizing death by cancer, no matter how much sacrificial blood he pours on his prairie dog. Then you also got Carl and Stanley Henderson, who's his husband and wife of team of serial killers who troll America's highways, searching for suitable models to photograph and exterminate. And it has an interesting cast too. This is also based on a book, directed by after school director Antonio Campos. You got a great cast. You got Tom Holland, Sebastian Stan, who by the way ended up replacing Chris Evans. So you also got Robert Pattinson, Bill Skarsgård, the aforementioned Riley Keough, Mia Wasikowska, Haley Bennett, Eliza Scanlon, who I just saw in Little Women, and she's an actress to keep your eye out for. Jason Clarke is in this. Haley Bennett. Great cast. A great director. I mean, sign me up. This could be something really intriguing to watch. Alright, coming in at number 44, it is Mulan. Now, I'm not really the world's, out of all the Disney films, Mulan is probably not my favorite one. But I've been really digging these trailers. I think this new actress who's playing Mulan named, I could never really pronounce her name that well, but her name is Wi-Fi Leo. I'll probably be able to know her name in the future. But you also got Donnie Yen, Jet Li is in this, Jason Scott Lee. I mean, this Mulan looks pretty dark. So I'm wondering if they're going to PG-13ish now. But still, looks really entertaining. Looks like it's going to be beautifully shot. I'm kind of intrigued by this Mulan. Alright, coming in at number 43, Now, this movie has no title at all, and I have no idea what it's about. But I'm mostly excited for it because the director and the star of it. And it is an untitled film directed by 20th Century Women director Mike Mills. And it's being released by A24, starring Joaquin Phoenix, Gabby Hoffman. That or I need to know. It'll be nice to get what this movie is going to be about in the future. Yes. And maybe if it sounds like, and I don't know, maybe once I see a trailer and it sounds dumb, maybe I'll be at least anticipated. But, Joaquin Phoenix is coming off of a great hit with the Joker. Joaquin Phoenix, is arguably one of the greatest actors to ever live. He's teaming up with Mike Mills, who's a really talented director. He gave us stuff like Beginners, Dumbsucker, and a 20th Century Woman, which also had an elf in it, by the way. So that, like I said, this movie could easily end up sounding dumb, could end up being terrible, but just because of the star who's in this, the director attached, and the company behind it, that's mainly why I'm more looking forward for this. Alright, coming in at number 42, it is Annette. Now, this movie tells the story of a proactive stand-up comedian played by Adam Driver and his wife, who's a world-famous soprano, played by Marianne Cotillard. Sorry. Anyway, and their glamorous life ends up taking an unexpected turn when their daughter Annette is born, who's a girl with unique gifts. Now, it's directed by supposed to be directed by Holy Motors director Leo Carax, and it also stars a Big Bang Theory dude Simon Helberg, who was actually pretty good in that Meryl Streep movie Florence Foster Jenkins. Now, and that sounds like it'd be pretty intriguing. Adam Driver is, of course, coming off of a Oscar. He might actually end up winning an Oscar for Marriage Story, and I think he deserves an Oscar, by the way. It is probably one of his best performances. So, yeah. But, Annette sounds like it could be interesting, like a music-based film. I like Marion Cotillard, so this will probably come out next Oscar season, but we'll see. Alright, coming in at now my number 41 anticipated film of next year, it is The French Dispatch. Now, this movie is being directed by Wes Anderson, so that's one reason why I'm excited for this film. It is, of course, a love letter to journalists set in an outpost of an American newspaper in the fictional 20th century French city that brings to life a collection of stories published in the French Dispatch magazine. And it has a really great cast in this. You got Saoirse Ronan and Timothy Chalamet, who must be really good friends, by the way. They did Lady Bird, they're in Little Women. They must be really best friends. Or they're dating, who knows, but anyway. The other cast also includes Lea Seydoux, Jason Schwartzman, Kate Winslet, Bill Murray. It's a Wes Anderson movie, so obviously Bill Murray's going to be in this. Elizabeth Moss, William Dafoe, Benicio del Toro, Tilda Swinton, Christoph Waltz, Henry Winkler, Francis McDormand, Owen Wilson, Jeffrey Wright, Tony Rivoli, who was a scene stealer in Grand Budapest Hotel, so Griffin Dunn's in this. Yeah, this, I still don't know much of the story or anything, but Wes Anderson is probably one of the weirdest, quirkiest directors there is. So anything Wes Anderson directs, I'll definitely be watching. I like the cast involved, so... And Wes Anderson's last movie, Eyes of the Dogs, I didn't really enjoy as much. So hopefully this movie will be slightly better. He makes some really good and very quirky-based movies. And I'm pretty sure French Dispatch will be one of them, but we'll see. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me do the quick rundown. Alright, 50 Deep Water, 49 All the Bright Places, 48 Conjuring 3, 47 Newsflash, 46 Zola, 45 The Devil All the Time, 44 Mulan, 43 an untitled Mike Mills / A24 film, number 42 Annette, and 41 The French Dispatch. Let me leave you guys. Which of these are you interested in checking out? Are you interested in Wes Anderson's new film, Mulan, Are you a fan of Mike Mills? So does that make you excited to check out his entire project film? Do you think Devil at the Time sounds interesting? Yeah, or would you add something else in this list? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This here is Team Movie signing off.